Welcome inside the David Bray Athletic and Recreation Center on Mohawk College campus for tonight's Tuesday, November 29th matchup between the Mohawk Mountaineers and the Redeemer Royals. I'm Nick Birnie. Alongside me, Sadie Martin. We'll get to our sideline reporter, the lovely Christine Midgley, just a little later. But first, let's take a look at some key players in tonight's matchup, and we'll start with the visiting Redeemer Royals. For the Royals, we're going to take a look at Jessica Brown, 19.3 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, 18 points, 3 assists in her last match, and also scoring 20 points a game roughly when the team is only averaging 60. As for the Mountaineers, Sadie, give us a little look inside who to keep an eye on tonight.
Sam Pockernick is the key player for the Mountaineers. She's averaging 17.7 points per game. Her field goal percentage is 47.4, which is awesome. And just last game, she had 16 points and 4 steals. So definitely the player on Mohawk's end that we want to be watching for.
And now we will take a look at tonight's starting lineups for both clubs. And we will start with the hometown Mohawk Mountaineers. Hunter Johns, number 11. Karina Brown, number 12. Steph Rymack, number 15. Shannon O'Neill, 22. And to top it off, Monica Batnick, 32. For the visiting Redeemer Royals, we will see Rebecca Cooperis, number 5, Tia Baker, number 11, Kayla Prett, number 21, Lindsay Moffitt, number 22, and of course, as mentioned, Jessica Brown, the player to keep an eye on, number 23. As the starting lineups are introduced for both sides and the Mountaineers are on the court, we are about to tip things off here from the David Braley Center. Sadie, as mentioned, Redeemer not quite the same offensively as the Mountaineers in terms of potency. And as well, coming into this one, the Mountaineers have one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best, especially when it comes to points per game. And also the highest scoring,
yeah. So they're good on the defensive end, and they're also leading in the OCAA with 80.3 points per game. Redeemer has a little bit harder time. They're more on the lower end as far as their overall scoring goes. So coming up against a tough defensive team like Mohawk is definitely going to be a struggle for Redeemer.
So we are just seconds away from tip-off here on a lovely Tuesday night in Hamilton. It'll be Hunter Johns to take the tip. And won by the Royals. Jessica Brown, number 23, begins. And here comes Redeemer on the offensive end. A quick attack, and Brown shot an air ball out of bounds. So not the best of starts for the Royals, and a good solid start defending the paint there.
No, but we did see Jessica Brown had the ball right to start the game.
And as you mentioned in the early going, we saw that stat flash up, 33.3% field goal shooter. So she does have a lot of points, but she's clearly taking a lot of shots to get there. Ball moved around at the top by the Mountaineers. Batnick works to the right side. Good little drop-in pass. Johns' shot is forced up, doesn't quite go. Brown the rebound, and Karina Brown unable to get the rebound to go. Lead pass from Brown, out the other way. Here's Cooperis, working on O'Neill. O'Neill, one of the best defenders on the Mountaineers and in the OCAA. Moffitt, across they go, down low, quick jumper falls for Prett. Kayla Prett with the first 2 points of the game for the visiting Royals. Redeemer just 3-3 coming into this one. There's a great feed down low by Batnick, and Karina Brown quickly evens things back up.
And it looks like Redeemer starting off the game strong. The last couple of games that they've played, they did start out their game strong, but lose it in the third and fourth quarter. So we'll definitely see how their endurance plays out this game.
The shot goes up from long range and is rebounded by the Royals on the offensive end. Jessica Brown now to Moffitt, driving. Her driving shot does not go with the left hand. Karina Brown back the other way, and will hit Steph Rymack. Her quick pass almost intercepted by Jessica Brown, who has definitely been a presence on the defensive end and has gotten a lot of touches early, as we expected.
And I think Mohawk's looking a little flat out there right now. Redeemer's defending them hard, and they're not getting the looks that they want.
Here's a good cross-court feed, and Shannon O'Neill book it.
right when I say that, they're
Shannon
going
making
flat.
Sadie look a little bit bad there. Just a little. Back the other way, Jessica Brown. Expect to see a lot of her on the ball for Redeemer. Now Moffett. Outside, worked around, Baker. Now down low, there's a shot from Brett that is too strong.
Good pass up to Steph.
Rymack the other way. Good feed off. Johns to the hoop, off rim, too strong again, but now Brown rejected away underneath. Baker up ahead, on the run. Moffett, lead pass for Brown. Brown underneath, up fake. Trying to go up against 3 defenders, ends up finding her teammate Cooperis, kicks it out. Baker working it around. Brett finds Brown in the side, and her jump shot does not go
Good
from
box
10.
out by Mohawk.
O'Neal the other way. Shannon picks up her dribble. Good cross-court feed. Steph Rymack popping, stop 3, no good. Ball is tipped by a Mountaineer, but unable to win possession. Jessica Brown back the other way. Hand off to Cooperis. Inside Brown. Brown works on Batnick. Little feed, and Brett, Kayla Brett,
Give it a go.
the 3rd year from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan.
There's a lot of players actually that aren't Ontario-based from Redeemer.
That is
A
one
couple
of
from
2 Saskatchewan players,
yeah, one from
Alberta and 1 Nova Scotian.
Yeah.
And we have already seen Brett on the floor for the Saskatchewan. We may see Bowman, who is from Alberta, that'd be Larissa Bowman, as well as Nikayla Paris, who's the Halifax, Nova Scotia native, and then Bridget, I believe it's Bjorndalen, might have that wrong, from Estevan, Saskatchewan. So a lot of outside
Nice
Ontario
steal.
players here for this OCAA squad for the Royals, and they're a good pick by Jasmina Kucik. Or Kucik,
Jasmina,
excuse me.
we've talked about her quite a bit so far this season. She's a rookie for the Mountaineers, and right now she's sitting at 10.7 rebounds per game, so she's tied for 4th in the OCAA.
And for a rookie, that is the
That's a nice
highest
stat.
standard for a rookie in terms of rebounds. So she has the best rookie stats rebounding in the entire league.
Which is awesome.
Just subbed onto the game for the first time here tonight as Batnick was subbed off. Now corner 3 from Shannon O'Neal, booking. And
She's on fire tonight, back to
especially
back.
when you put her in that corner.
Exactly.
Loves the left side. Ball brought slowly up, by Cooperis. Down low pass, Brett
Oh,
mauled
foul.
by Johns. Good hard foul though. And Kayla Brett will go to the line. She has all 4 Redeemer points nearly going as they trail by 3. Just over 3 minutes into the game, and we will now see our first taste of Sam Parkernick for the Mountaineers coming off the bench. And as well, Amy Carter, who we did not see her in the first few games at home here, and Amy on the road had one of the best games I've ever seen. She had about 16 rebounds in her first night of action
Wow.
in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So a lot more confidence lately from Duffy. Saw her again against Fanshawe a bit more. I think we're going to see a lot more of the rookie Amy Carter as the season goes on. He has really gotten a lot out of his big 2 rookies, Kukic and, of course, Carter.
Yeah,
in
it was a
terms
good
of
building
rebounding.
year for Mohawk.
Brown double teamed and loses it to Moffett and, of course, Jessica Brown on the other side. Down low, thought about his Cooperis, kicked out to Brown. Brown goes inside, now kicks it to Brett right in the middle, and she missed an easy one.
Just
And
not going
Kusick
in,
another
but
board.
Redeemer's doing a good job moving the ball, and they know where their players are.
Trying to draw the foul, Cooperis, then a good hand check by Moffett, forced it loose. On the floor, O'Neal tried to pull it out of Brett, and we're going to see a jump ball, which possession will go the way of the Mountaineers. So, 13 left on the shot clock. And Carissa Brown to inbounds. Carissa, the veteran. Or excuse me, Karina Brown, the veteran, the other sister. My mistake, 5 years with the Mountaineers. One of the longest serving Mountaineers still remaining on the team. There's a pass tipped in the middle off of Baker's attempt, and oh, Brown took a shot. As on the way up court, sticking a hand out was Brett to try and
I think
knock
she was
that ball
just-
loose.
Yeah, looking to. It looked like she was just trying to obscure her pass, but ended up getting caught.
And so, excuse me, I made 2 mistakes on that one. At first I thought it was Karina, but it is Carissa.
It's Carissa.
And I corrected myself wrongly in the last 10. And now we are going to see Carissa get a short break. Callie Strongman enters the court.
Another rookie that we're seeing a little bit more of.
Early 1-point lead for the Mountaineers. Just under 6 to play. First quarter from the D-Bark Center. Up top, Kusek swings it around. O'Neill
Nice little move.
working inside, put the body hard
She
against
hit
her
a
defender.
brick wall.
And that was Jessica Bosma, the Hamilton, Ontario native, playing for the Royals in her second year with Redeemer. Ball just out of bounds, no foul, still Mountaineer possession. Rymack across the way, Strongman. Strongman to the corner, O'Neill with a long-range three again. Shannon O'Neill,
She's got
terrific.
the hot hand tonight.
Off to a great start is Shannon. Brown up the court. Cooperis trying to work her way against 3 Mountaineers in the corner.
Good defense.
Had it come loose, so she picked up a new dribble. There's a pass to Bosma, and her shot will ring around and find its way down.
And we're seeing the classic defense from Mohawk, always putting the press on.
Bosma, the only Hamilton native on the Royals.
Nice.
Long range pass, Rymack. And as you said, a great pass and a better finish there.
Good see.
About a 10-foot easy open jumper for Steph.
Mohawk uses that when they can, always those across court passes, and they have the shooters that can take those baseline shots.
Jessica Brown working down the sideline,
She's
now
take
cutting
it all
towards the hoop. Brown herself, as you said, and Carter grabs the board, slowly falls over. Robert Hooper asked for the travel, the Redeemer coach, no call. Kusik the other way, can't finish on the spin around underneath. Back the other way on the rush. They're asking for patience, says the Royals bench. They want them to slow the pace down. Long range three from Moffitt, though, is open and no good, off back rim and out. And the ball tipped out of bounds, and we are going to see Redeemer remain in possession. A good battle there between the 2 number 5s. And now we're going to change the call, I believe, and it will be Mohawk ball, actually. With 4:29 to play in the first, and Hunter Johns and Sam Pockernick will check back in for Shannon O'Neill and Amy Carter.
And Shannon having a great start to her game, adding a lot of points on the board for Mohawk.
Ball inbounded by Callie Strongman to Steph Rymack. Steph, the vet point guard, finds the rook. Back up top, it's Steph, and she took the extra step, didn't mean to. Wanted the first touch pass, but when the Royal defender jumped in front of Strongman, she tried to rethink it, and unfortunately took one extra step. Here's Jessica Brown. Brown works on Rymack, pulls up for 3 and is short. Loose ball, rebounded well by Jasmina Kusik. And now here's Sam Pockernick, and Cooper's tried to get in front of her, and good attempt by Rebecca Cooperis there.
Yeah, she just wasn't quite at the sideline.
As you said, just not quite able to get her feet set in front of Pockernick. And they will sub her off and give her a rest, and Rebecca Clark will come onto the court. Steph Rymack at the top, feeds Sam Pockernick. Working on Clark. Kusik in low, turns into 2 Royals defenders, but they swing it around well. Pockernick's 3 just short, off front rim. Jessica Brown the board underneath. Working it forward. Kayla Pratt catch, thought about the shot, does not go up with it. Now Bosma down low, working against Kusik. A little wild shot, no good. Kusik the board, and outlets to Rymack. Down low, a great pass from
Nice
Pockernick
block.
to Strongman, a better block. Good hustle back from Kayla Pratt. Spinorama
Nice move.
down low. Lindsay Moffitt, but they will call the travel. I think she took the dribble and picked it up with 2 hands and then went to make the spin.
Yeah,
and
went
those
to the
are
spin.
3 steps then at that point, because she had already had the 1 foot down. So an inbounds for Monica Batnick back on the court. The 5 Mountaineers are Batnick, Rymack, Pockernick, Kusik, and Johns for the Royals. We also see entering the court for the first time number
Nice
15,
pass.
Toby Brinkman, an Ottawa, Ontario native in her first year. Pockernick taking the short pass and will bury, and I guess Toby Brinkman must have had some happy family members over the weekend with the Grey Cup victory. Jessica Brown back up the court. Brown works on Batnick. Inside, swatted away
He's
by
good help
Jasmina
defense.
Kusik.
Yeah.
That shows you the ability of Kusik. Didn't even take a single leap,
No.
or even just a thought of a leap. Just stood her ground and put her hands up
That's all
and
she
still
needs.
able to get all
And I
ball.
love how when she rebounds, she's so quick to look up the floor.
And that's what one of the great assets about her, what a great passer she is, but also
She can do
what
it
a
herself as well.
Great vision. Speaking of vision, Rymack finds the hole, cuts to the hoop, and gets thrown around in between 2 Royals, will earn her way to the line. And if there's one thing we love to see, and you know Steph's on her game when she's driving to the net, because that'll open up her 3-point game. And there it is again. tough drive, and Jessica Brown, a good person to have fouling in that moment. You want to get Brown into the personals here.
Yes, for sure. Especially, you know, she's one of 2 key players for Redeemer. So getting her in foul trouble is definitely a place she doesn't want to be.
So Rymack at the line makes 1 of 2. Steph, one of the better free throw shooters on the Mountaineers, is a perfect 2 for 2 there. And also on the court for the Royals, Michaela Blackburn, the Oshawa, Ontario native in her 2nd year. There's some pressure on Baker. Back the other way, Clark, Pret, hands off Baker. Pockernick spilled to the floor, and a good little cut.
Redeemer did a good job breaking that defense down.
And Tia Baker able to finish the Metcalf, Ontario native. Rymack, outlet pass, Pockernick quickly double.
Good trap.
Good trap, as you said, from the Royals, and the pressure almost forces a turnover. Kusick.
Redeemer's coming hard at the ball on the defensive end. It looks like they're playing kind of a zone, but as soon as that ball's in one of the wings' hands or in the key, there's 3 people collapsing on them.
2:31 to play, first quarter on the inbounds. Great little give and go 3, but it does not work. Smart play by Hunter Johns. Rebound on the offensive end from Kusick. Jasmina continues to shine on the offensive glass as she's done all year. There's a pass that deflects off the leg of Kayla Pret and out of bounds.
Mohawk has just 5 seconds to get a shot off.
Late in the shot clock, as you mentioned. We'll see what they can get here off the inbounds. Pockernick has been quiet in the early going. Down low to Johns. Looking for someone.
Double dribble.
And she I thought it draw the foul there from behind, but I believe did pick up the dribble, as you said. So
yeah, she took a little dribble as soon as she caught the ball and then bounced it again.
Call by the referee there.
Redeemer,
right on that one.
They're definitely not out of the game yet, just trailing 6 points behind Mohawk.
Worked up at the top. Here's Baker. Thought about working against the smaller Rymack, now kicks it up top to Paris.
The shot clock's at 8.
Kayla Paris inside. That's Brinkman. Shot does not go off the side of the rim. And Kusick, another board. She has come down with nearly, I think, 4 or 5 of the first 6, 7 boards for the Mountaineers on the defensive and offensive end. Good swing pass from Pockernick. A long-range attempt again from Batnick off front rim, a little short. She pokes the loose ball off the leg of Kayla Pret out of bounds and wins the Mountaineers another fresh shot clock here, I believe. Or they will actually, bring it to 14 on the shot clock. And some substitutions we will see for the first time. Karina Brown into the game tonight, as she is on the court, and Shannon O'Neill back in. There's a lead pass across the court.
Oh, good save.
O'Neill with a great save. Swung around the top, finds Johns in the corner for 3. Just pops out off back rim. A bit unlucky there. Brought up the other way.
Nice little steal from
There's
Steph.
a good poke steal from Rymack, always hustling. Michaela Blackburn under the pressure there, the Oshawa native. And
with
it will be a foul there.
Having Rymack and O'Neill and Brown on right now, the 3 of them are very aggressive, good defensive end. But we just saw Karina, she can make space down below too, so she's a great asset to have in the post.
And with that, they are in the penalties, so Rymack drawing the foul against Blackburn is actually going to go to the line. Blackburn called for the hand check on the grip and reach in there of Rymack.
And we've talked about foul trouble isn't where Redeemer wants to be anyways, because they aren't a very deep team to begin with. You know, Mohawk can roll through their substitutes and know everyone can go out there and put out a game for them. But Redeemer really has their couple of superstars, so you don't want to be getting into foul trouble where you're having to reach deeper into your bench.
Off that miss, there's a block on the attempted pass and a steal for the Mountaineers. In the corner, Johns. Batnick. Rymack, 3 just too much on it. Rebound now O'Neill, and she double dribbled. And that, just a bit of a brain fart in the corner. Yeah. She picked it up, had to take 1 dribble with it. And as soon as she picked it up, she wanted to make that cut move.
And I think it's Redeemer's defense. They're all over them. Like, it's giving me a little bit of anxiety just watching.
They have definitely been pressing.
Yeah, and hard all over them. So I think, you know, they're thinking too much, and then Shannon ends up putting down the ball more times than she's allowed.
The Royals have definitely been competitive, and more competitive than I would have thought on the defensive end. There's a steal, but Pret able to steal it right back. Now Blackburn, Baker, working towards the net with her left hand. Trying to go up and under, just rolls across and out. Rebound for Batnick. Time as we're under a minute in the first quarter here from the D-Bark Center on Mohawk College. And here's O'Neill, long-range 3, just too far. Offensive board doesn't go for Karina Brown. And the loose ball picked up and works slowly back ahead. Michaela Paris to Baker. Here comes Baker up the way, and she'll lose it off a hand check out of bounds. And actually, that is going to be a foul on Shannon O'Neill. So didn't see that at first, but a hand check foul for reaching in there. So a good foul drawn as Baker was working hard down the left side against two Mountaineers there. And the referee all over it, not letting Shannon get away with that one. 24.3 on the clock, 24-second shot clock as we stand right now. So difference of 0.3. Jessica Brown on the inbounds. Will they shoot for quick and try and get a couple more plays? And she definitely did not want to waste any time. She goes right at Karina Brown and draws the foul.
And yeah, we haven't seen too much of Jessica Brown this quarter. It's definitely, the player that we thought we were going to be watching.
And of course, with Jessica Brown scoring as many points as we said in the pregame, being the Royals' top scorer and scoring a third of their points in average per game, thus to this point through 6 games, you start to wonder if she doesn't come alive, what is going to happen in the second half.
And especially, we've also talked about that Mohawk has one of the strongest defense in OCAA. So I'm sure that, Duffy had them look, hey, Jessica Brown, biggest scorer, shut her down, right?
Steph Rymack makes her way across half court. Monica Batnick.
Just 11 seconds left in the quarter.
Down low to Johns with time running out, as you mentioned, and Johns able to draw the foul. And that will be against Tia Baker.
Redeemer, they are playing a very tough defense right now, and they're all over Mohawk, but I think you need to pull back a little bit as soon as the refs start calling this many calls on them already being in bonus in that first.
Hunter Johns, second-year forward, rolls out the first, unfortunately, with 7.9 on the clock from Kitchener. Went to Cameron Heights High School, Waterloo area. Back the other way, Moffitt working with the left hand, strong, and beats the clock, but cannot get it to go, and the loose ball battled between the Mountaineers and Royals, and that will come to the end of the first quarter, 18-11, the Mountaineers in front by 7 at the end of 1. Couple notes, not a lot of action from Jessica Brown, albeit being on the court, and Sam Pockernick, but first, we're going to throw to our lovely sideline reporter, Christine Midgley, who had a little chat with Mr. Duffy. We are, I believe, having a little technical difficulties with Christine here on the sideline. We'll try to get back to her in just a second there. But as we stand, end of the first quarter, the Mountaineers up by 7. And a pretty even first quarter, albeit a decent-sized lead. Duffy will be pleased, but as you mentioned, Redeemer, not a great offensive start, albeit they are much better defensively, as we've seen in games coming in. Yeah. And to this point, pretty good defensive display against, as you mentioned, the best offense in the game in the Mountaineers in the OCAA right now.
Yeah, no, I think Redeemer's putting out a huge effort defensively. They're winding down the shot clock on Mohawk's end, and Mohawk's having to take shots that they wouldn't usually want to do. But at the same time, on Mohawk's end, they're doing a good job stopping Redeemer. Obviously, Jessica Brown, we haven't seen much of her in this first quarter, which can probably go a lot towards Mohawk's defense. They do a lot of pressing in the backcourt, so by the time Redeemer makes it over, they only have 14 or 15 seconds to really make a play out of it.
So, the Mountaineers with the advantage after 1. Sam Pockernick has had very little time on the court compared to Jessica Brown, and not to say that, oh goodness, there we went spotlighting a player that we're not going to see much. We will see a lot more of Sam. We do know that with Kevin, he is not one to overuse his players in a game. Minutes per game often for Mountaineers players end up around 25.
Every person has a piece, exactly.
And that means that you're sharing the court. So as we see, Sam is touching the court as a to start the second quarter here for the Mountaineers, and I expect a little more usage of her, but he does like to ride the hot hand, see what's working, what's not working.
So Shannon comes out of the gate and, pops in a couple shots. So let's get Shannon on the floor and get her working, right? So Duffy is someone, that's something that I love about how he structures his gameplay, is that if you're having a good game, he's going to reward you with that. And if you need to work a little bit harder, then, someone else is going to get more time.
So as we begin the second quarter of play, it's 18-11 for the Mountaineers, and here come the Royals moving forward quickly into the paint, and a shot goes up and is out from Jessica Bosma, the Hamilton native. Back the other way, off the lead pass. Pockernick swinging it around at the top. It reaches eventually. Carissa Brown now losing it down low as she tried to find her sister Karina in the middle, and Brown the other way. Jessica makes it and draws the foul as Shannon O'Neill was trying desperately to get back.
I think at that point, like, that's something she had to do, right? But just unfortunate that Jessica also made it. Well, fortunate for Jessica, unfortunate for Shannon.
So Jessica Brown able to get on the board here with the lay-in, and also now a chance for a classic three-point play from the line. Jessica, fifth-year player from New Brunswick, Grand Manan, New Brunswick.
So this will be her last year of college basketball then.
Brown up top. Now O'Neill guarded by Jessica Brown, and there's Pockernick.
The
Tough
defense.
guarded.
Yeah.
Tia Baker all over there.
They're not letting any pass get through easy.
They have squeezed out the Mountaineers on every opportunity to make sure that they do not give an inch of space.
Yeah,
for
and it
those
doesn't look like Redeemer doesn't do a whole lot of pressing, which I think is smart on their end because Mohawk is a very quick and agile team, and I think that they would be able to beat through it. But they stay back, and then they are all over the ball as soon as it crosses over half.
Rymack at the top. Here is Carissa Brown, a cross-court feed that's beautiful for Steph Rymack, and even better was the finish.
And that's what happens when you go into that zone defense. You know, our three-point shooters start to shine like Steph Rymack.
Moffitt to Baker. Full court press on the opposite end, from the Mountaineers against the Royals. And there, Jessica Brown just took a couple steps before she put the dribble down, and that travel will force a turnover, and great pressure from the Mountaineers leads to a turnover by the Royals.
And that's what Duffy wants. Every possession counts.
And you can see him there. He's loving that. That was probably the happiest I've seen him all game thus far. You won't often see him smile, but he does reward and love when his players are working hard on the defensive end, and they have been all throughout this year. After the miss, though, on the offensive end, Jessica Brown brings it back the other way for the Redeemer Royals, and she tries to cut in between there, loses her opportunity, and the kick out is drilled by Moffitt.
And Moffitt, I can remember in previous seasons, when she starts hitting the three, that's one of her strengths.
Lindsay Moffitt, fourth-year player from Hamilton, Ontario. One of two members from Hamilton on the Royals. There's a long-range pass from Brown to Moffitt, and Lindsay Moffitt just a little too much on the left-handed lay-in. Pockernick back the other way. Now a little give and go and a quicker game here as we see some fast break rushes end-to-end, and Kusik's little hook shot does not fall with the right hand. Baker the other way, Moffitt. Good lead pass to Brown in behind Kusik. The lay-in is good.
Yeah.
And we are seeing Moffitt and Brown combine for some fast break explosion here that has pulled Redeemer within two, and a timeout called by the Mohawk Mountaineers. 21-19 for Mohawk as we stand currently. And as we go into this timeout, one thing that I wanted to mention, as we had just said during that action there, Mohawk leading, like you've mentioned a couple times already, in points per game at 80.3 in the OCAA coming in. That's 4.
Huge scoring.
And Redeemer sitting at just 66.5 points per game.
Yeah.
Quite a drop-off. And at the same time, when you think about it, the defense, Redeemer has played really good defense coming in. They're averaging roughly about 60 points per game against, and Mohawk only about 52 points per game against, so it's pretty close. But considering 3 wins for Redeemer have pretty much been with 70, 60 points, if Mohawk can up the game offensively, I think that might help them that much more. I don't know if you want to get into a slow game.
Yeah, that's just like the depth of the team, right? Yeah,
I think a slower game works better for the Royals because they want a slow-paced game, drag it out, make it possession
well, especially
by
just
possession.
endurance-wise as well. They don't have as deep of a bench, so they want to keep their bodies warm and do want to do that slower play, you could say. Just going back to their last game, Redeemers, they came up against Fanshawe, and they outscored them in the first and second, but fell apart in the third and fourth. So they are a team that usually starts out strong and starts out with this hard defense, but whether it's endurance or maybe they get out of their mentality, but it does seem to drop in the third and fourth quarter. So we'll see what happens with this game.
So here off the inbounds, quickly breaking the other way, and here's a try from Carter, off balance with the right hand, but Batnick grabs the offensive board. Tried to find some space for herself. Back out top, Rymack a little out of control, but it almost went down. Just popped out at the last moment. Back the other way, quickly spreading the floor.
Give and go again.
Moffitt to Brown again, but just a little off the rim there. Too hard from Brown. Pockernick receives the outlet pass. Now back to the top. Rymack, Batnick tried to swing it around, and Monica moved the left foot there just as she took a peek. And the referee right on it. Great call from the lines, or from the sideline there, from the official. Ball inbounded by Moffett to Jessica Brown. Moffett and Brown have been the two important ones, and we did know that coming in. We'll talk about them a little later. And there's a chance
well
inside.
together as well.
Bosma swatted away. But like you said, a very good combo, and there's Brown again with the finish. Jessica Brown is picking up the pace now, starting to make her presence felt. Back the other way, the Mountaineers. There's Pocket, great little fake look and a better feed, but still, the Royals just keeping up, playing great zone defense
Shot
right
clock's
now.
down to 9.
Pockernick working in. Great little finish off balance by Sam Pockernick. That is why she is one of the best scorers in the OCAA.
Yeah, she's just very versatile. She actually, I think her play is a lot similar to Jessica Brown because she's able to do that point guard position, but she's also good on the drive.
And there, Lindsay Moffett went up for the shot. It didn't look like much. She overshot it there, but a hand check is reaching in, and there's been a couple late fouls by the Mountaineers that they don't need, where they are being just a little bit lackadaisical, reaching out at the end, and that's one right there that you wouldn't want to give away.
Yeah, and usually Mohawk's pretty good about doing that help defense. And, you know, if your player gets by you, there should be someone there backing you up, especially with someone like Jessica Brown on the team where you know she likes to do those drives and she likes to get close to the net.
So Moffett from the line with the second, and it's off front rim short, but she
Gets her
grabs her own
rebound.
board. Ball goes back up,
There's
and the
Kusick.
rebound grabbed by Kusick. Who else? Carter, lead pass, though, picked by
Too
Brown.
far.
Too much of a lob in that pass. Now Brown will spot a three, just a little hard. That could have been a dagger and put the Royals in the lead for the first time since the first minute of the game. Batnick looked inside, off the fingertips of Kusick. Great follow-up by Amy Carter. Takes it strong to the hoop and draws the foul. And there you go. That's what you want to see from Amy. I know that it's tougher when you're a younger player and you're just starting in the OCAA. Here you are fresh out of high school. You're going up against people who have a little more experience, maybe a little more size, a little more strength in some avenues, depending on who you're going against and what team. And in this
And
case,
just even we can say this season experience. She didn't play those first couple of games,
so a little even
the
more.
other team has had time to kind of get chemistry,
Yes.
and now she's just kind of not being thrown in, but has to work out where her players like to be and where she needs to be.
But you are right, a little more fresher than most.
Yeah.
Because she did sit out those first few games. And now, after making that, Carter will get a well-deserved rest. Shannon O'Neill checking back in along with Karina Brown onto the court, joining Hunter John, Sam Pockernick, and Steph Rymack. Rymack and O'Neill trying to guard Brown, but she blew by both. The pass, though, knocked away by Pockernick. Still picked up by the Royals. Brown with an open three, book it from the left side.
And that's where if your press kind of breaks apart, you have to be able to grab your man and get on defense. Jessica Brown was left wide open,
And
which is
after
never
Pockernick,
something you want.
like you said, make that tip there. Oh, there's a bad pass from Pockernick, intercepted by Jessica Brown. Back the other way, good
nice
lead pass.
pass.
And Cooperus will
They
make
are working
the
well,
easy
too.
lay-in.
And Redeemer just took the lead 26-25.
First lead since the opening minutes of the first quarter.
And I think
for Redeemer.
Redeemer's just out hustling Mohawk right now.
Open three, O'Neill, and it unfortunately pops out and will touch the stanchion above the net, so an out of bounds, and we will see some substitutions. Three made by the Mountaineers: Danielle Datskew, Desiree Dutrazak, and Callie Strongman. So three of the more younger, inexperienced players coming onto the
Yeah, but I
court
think
right now.
Duffy's looking a little frustrated,
And Kevin
so
is not
I don't
very
think you want to be
pleased
on the end of that bench
with
right
the
now.
last few minutes have not been the best for the Mountaineers. But as we were mentioning, and as I wanted to get to, Redeemer has two leaders on the team, Jessica Brown and Lindsay Moffett. We didn't talk a whole lot about Lindsay coming in, but like you said, we've seen her last year and over the past few years, of course, considering she's now in her fourth year, she can get hot from the outside when she is on her game.
Yep.
And this year, both are averaging over at least 10 points per game. And while Mohawk has over 4 guys averaging 10 points per game, they only have these two. So Redeemer's offense really does center around what Lindsay and Jessica can do on any given night.
Yeah, and that's where it's just tough when you're looking at points per game, because then, just like you said, we have 4 Mohawk Mountaineers that are over that 10 points per game. So yeah, they're pulling out 80 points per game games. You know, on Redeemer's end of things, they just have those 2 that are performing over 10 points per game. I think both of them are having a really good game tonight, though, and they're definitely giving Mohawk a run for their money. So
and this is a lot more in terms of points, not necessarily saying that they will come to a better point total than what they've averaged this year by the end of this, because it is still a low-scoring game. But Redeemer's got to be pleased that with 5.5 left in the first half, there's a good chance they could get to the 40-point mark.
And the fact that they're holding Mohawk down.
As well, Mohawk still yet to hit the 30-point mark. Something they usually do is hit about 40 in the end of the first half, but there, a turnaround jumper is good as Bosma hits. Now Duchazak brings it up the other way. The younger Mountaineers on the court working it here. Strongman to Daniel Datsku. The pass down low to Duchazak. Working inside, now kicks it out. Brown.
The shot clock's at 8.
Karina, a cross-court pass for Datsku. She barely could keep it in and could not. The toes just across the baseline, out of bounds. So a turnover from the Mountaineers, and now with the lead stretched to 3, we cross through the 5-minute mark and halfway point of the second quarter. Brown works on Strongman, goes to the right hand and gets it off glass.
Goes to the left hand.
The left hand there, driving to her opposite side. Datsku works against Cooperus, then had it knocked out of her hands for a second. Finds Duchazak on the baseline, but she picked up her foot, and that was the plant foot as she made her cut to the net.
And the refs have a good eye for that tonight.
The refs have been right on it.
They're calling the travels, and they're seeing the double dribbles.
We've had some terrific reffing through the first half of this one. Inbounded by Amy Coomans on court for the first time, Charling Cross, Ontario native, but inside is Bosma quickly putting it up, and it somehow rims out, and the loose ball off of Toby Brinkman, and it will be Mountaineer possession. 5-point advantage for the Royals, though. They have not had a lead this big in the game yet, so their largest advantage to this point. Desiree Duchazak. Duchazak tried to go down low, but too many red jerseys surrounding it. Redeemer rushes it back the other way. Another turnover from the Mountaineers, and Duffy cannot be enjoying this. Here's Moffitt, open 3, got it. And it's not getting any better.
That's that shot we're talking about, yeah.
And you said it before, if she starts hitting them, watch out. She is going to be dangerous if she gets in a groove from beyond the arc. Kusick, Strongman, swung around Duchazak.
The shot clock's at 10.
Kusick, not too much movement from the Mountaineers. They need to be a little more lively. Johns throws it up and almost able to hit a terrific acrobatic left-handed shot. But either way, finds her way to the line, earning the foul. And now we are going to see Kayla Preet come back in for Redeemer, and we will see 3 changes. Sam Pockernick, Monica Batnick, and Steph Rymack onto the court to join Hunter Johns, as well as Jasmina Kusick, to end what I would think the first half with this starting 5, or the majority of them. As going back to the more veteran lineup is Duffy here, as we start to close out the quarter, and a 7-point deficit is Johns able to make the second. 33-27, 6-point lead for the Royals. 3:45 and counting. Cooperus across, it's Moffitt. Moffitt up ahead for Preet, and she lost it. Here comes Kusick.
Dribble.
Kusick driving hard to the hole, goes right hand, too strong. Kicked out though, and Rymack grabbed it. Great passing here, almost had Batnick setting up for the 3, but her dribble off a knee. Ball let out for Moffitt. Moffitt slowing it down, but takes it to the baseline. Great move by Jasmina Kusick. And Moffitt is on her game right now. Another bucket and a strong one coming from the baseline. Just took the lead
even further from Mohawk.
Kusick in low, doesn't get the pass there. And I'll tell you, the Royals have cut off every lane to the paint, and Mohawk keeps going for it.
And I think that's the point where Mohawk needs to sit back and run a play. They're a very play-based team.
Great eye as Amy Coomans looked to make that pass. She lifted her right plant foot, and again, the referees bang on it. So a turnover. So Mohawk can try and cut into this 8-point deficit, but like you've said, banging their heads against the wall, keep trying to get into the paint and work it back out, but the paint is not there. Rymack, though, for 3, doesn't go, too strong. Kusick, great offensive board. Batnick, down low, pocketing it too quick maybe on the shot, I thought, but just still hits under immense pressure, and that's why Sam, one of the best Mountaineer forwards, and one of their better options when it comes to getting them the tight scores they need in a game like this. There's a great pick. Batnick and Pockernick combined, and Sam with the easy 2. They needed that one badly. The lead is down to 4 quick.
And you want to be the team that finishes this half on top.
Here comes Redeemer back the other way. Brett to Koumans. Koumans bodied, and now Brett battles with Batnick on the floor. And we're going to see possession going the way of the Royals here with 2:10 to go. And back checking into the game is Jessica Brown for Amy Koumans. And of course, Brown sat for just a bit while they had a lead and still brought in.
Up.
And oh, what a terrific inbounds. And you can't rest on
and especially
them for a
Jessica
second, Brown. And Brown.
Yeah.
What a combo.
Jessica
even
Brown,
from the
no
out of
one was
bounds.
even looking at her. So.
And that is going to be something that Duffy will not be pleased with. The best player offensively and best weapon not unchecked on the inbounds play. There's Johns underneath and still not able to get it to go down. Back the other way, Jessica Brown working on Pockernick. Brown at the top to Moffett. Moffett, watch out where Brown and Moffett can combine. Back to Brown, she thought about it. Tries to work baseline on Pockernick.
Good defense by Pockernick.
Moffett sets up for three, air ball just a little too far, but good tight D from the Mountaineers force that. Minute 29 to go, and we're gonna see Carissa Brown checking in, but first, the Royals timeout on the floor, called by head coach Robert Hooper in his 7th year with Redeemer College. So, Redeemer coming off 3 losses after starting with 3 straight wins to begin the year. And Mohawk coming into this game on a 5-game winning streak, currently should be 6-0. And we do know that,
well, should be 7-0.
Sorry,
they're
should be on a. They are currently on a 6-game win streak. Should be 7-0. The first game of the year. I've talked about this. If you haven't checked out on Ignite News, the Mohawk College website, we have written a couple stories. They did appeal to the OCAA about Duffy being on the bench for that game against Niagara College. We brought it up when we were hosting St. Clair, as he served the second and final of his actual 2-game suspension, technically in Sheridan and St. Clair College. With that, the Mountaineers no longer undefeated, but currently 6-1.
Still a good spot to be.
I would think that if they have played the way that they've played through those first 7 games and can just keep the focus, I don't expect an undefeated season. You're going to have nights like this where things get a little choppy, you're not having your best stuff, and you might run into a team that just feels and has a good night.
But still being 6-1, that's still a good record to have.
I think this is
and I don't think it's going to be something they're going to let affect them.
And that's what I would say. I hope that it doesn't get to them the rest of the year. I hope it's something they can put behind them and continue the good work they've done, because this is a team that definitely has a chance to do things come playoff time. There's another tough inbounds for the Mountaineers, as we are seeing a little more full court press here from the Royals.
And I think Redeemer has the energy tonight to be able to put Mohawk kind of out of their game.
1:25 to play in the first half. Coming towards the end, Pockernick.
See a back door here. There
quick throw, and here's Kusick. Kusick working towards the middle. Spin play. Great finish from Jasmina. Wonderful. Brown will inbounds. Mountaineers trying to cut into this deficit. Quick passing here off of fingertips. Pete tried to save it, and Brett maybe didn't need to save that. Might have been off a Mountaineer hand, but Mohawk will take that because possession now back in their hands, and that didn't take long, just 3 seconds off the clock. And Mohawk now has a chance to cut it even less. Just 4-point deficit right now. Brown, though, lost the handle again. Royals very good at their defensive work inside the paint.
Oh, and a great pressure called on by Steph. She was waving at Kusick to come and double.
Good call there by the veteran to communicate with her teammate. And as you said, work the double on a tough player in Jessica Brown there in the corner. Brown, though, off the inbounds, able to get some space. Work to the net, doesn't go. Loose ball. Bosma, unfortunately, had to go off her last. And with 47 seconds on the clock, the Mountaineers have a chance again to cut into this deficit right before the half. Still a couple possessions available here. Rymack brings it up. Brown. Top is Johns. Thought
nice
about the
fake.
open shot. Then her pass took too long of a look. Brown back the other way, working against Carissa Brown, and the shot goes up. No foul called. She wanted the call, and now here come the Mountaineers back the other way. Rymack looking for Pockernick.
Nice
Quick little jump, and doesn't go. Ball knocked loose, kept in, almost off her own teammate. Johns finds Kusick, and her fade doesn't go. Brett, pressure.
Only
just over 10
seconds
seconds.
left.
Here they come. Brown, last shot of the half, coming for the Royals. Brown wants it. Wants the three against Rymack. Got it!
Nails it.
And that will
What a
do
nice
it for
way
the
to
end
end
of
the
the
half.
first half. The Royals lead 40-33, 7-point advantage as we end the first half of play from the D-Bark Center here at Mohawk
And Redeemer's
College.
on top. And, you know, we did talk about how they start out strong. So we're going to have to see whether they cave in this last half or if they build off of it, because I think they've had good momentum so far.
So, as we come to the end of the first half, Redeemer, as you mentioned, not a surprising lead because they have been all over Mohawk. Great defensive pressure. That has really been
And that's
where
really
this
what they
lead
need
began.
to do.
And then, as we come to the end of the first half, we're going to kick it over to our sideline reporter.
Jake, you're giving me the camera. Hey guys, I'm down here with Coach Kevin Duffy. Now, we had some technical issues earlier, so didn't quite get your interview beforehand. What were some of your challenges going into this game?
Well, we're not executing. We're not executing on offense or on defense. We're not talking. There's no vocalization out there. They're taking it to us. As we said, we knew they had two great scorers, and they're filling up the net, and we're just relaxing too much on defense.
Okay, so what are we going to do in the second half to change that and maybe get a Mohawk win?
Well, first of all, we got to change our effort. We got a better ball movement on offense. We got to move the ball with a purpose, not just pass the ball around the perimeter. And defensively, we got to tighten up. We got to do a better job on the ball, and we have to do a better job on our backside rebounding as well too.
Okay, well, I hope to see some of those changes implemented. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
Nick and Sadie, let's throw it back to you.
Thanks, Christine. As we take a break here on M-Link, go get yourself a snack. It's 40-33 Redeemer at the halftime whistle. We'll be back with second half action after this. Welcome inside the David Braley Athletic and Recreation Center for the second half between the Mohawk Mountaineers and the Redeemer Royals. Thank you for watching on M-Link on YouTube. And Sadie, give us a little rundown of what were the important stats of the first half as we get set and the ball inbounded here in the second half.
Yeah, well, Lindsay Moffitt and Jessica Brown, two huge keys for Redeemer, which we were expecting. So Moffitt put in 10, and Jessica Brown had 16 points for herself. And there she goes.
And as you see, Brown, as you mentioned, getting fouled on the way in, or it looked like, but actually, Batnick able to keep just all ball there. And a couple things on the Mountaineer side.
Yeah, more of a spread offense from Mohawk. So Sam Pockernick, Stephanie Rymack, and Shannon O'Neill all put in 8 points in the first half. And Jasmina Kusik, we always see her on the board, so she's gotten herself 7 rebounds already for this game.
Terrific start for Jasmina. There's Hunter Johns. The quick pop shot does not go, and the loose ball picked up by Jessica Brown. Back the other way, Moffitt looking in the middle. Johns able to pick off.
Too late.
Rymack working along the side. It's Shannon O'Neill. O'Neill had some space, thought about it, but goes across court. Good pass. Batnick now finding inside is Brown. And unfortunately, Karina unable to make that pass count, but ball out of bounds for the Mountaineers. Ball inbounded right underneath. And Karina Brown goes up strong and will draw the foul. It looked to be a little bit of breakdown from the Royals there, trying to cover the paint. And that miscommunication can give the Mountaineers here a chance to cut into this deficit. 7 points after we saw Jessica Brown finish the half in style after having a struggling first quarter with that beautiful knockdown three over Steph Rymack with her right in her face. And that shows you just how dangerous Jessica Brown can be for the Royals, and they will be expecting a lot more from her. By the way, Redeemer with those 40 points set and averaging to look and get 80 points if they can keep it up and have the similar second half
than what we usually see. But then again,
Much
like
higher.
we've talked about a little bit, that they are a team that tends to cave in those third and fourth quarters. They start out really strong, but in the past couple games, they've had kind of the legs in the third and fourth quarter, unfortunately. So it'll be a huge mentality for Redeemer to hold it together and keep this lead.
And Rebecca Cooperis was fouled there, the Wilsonville, Ontario native, and then as the ball was being inbounded by Lindsay Moffitt, a push-off foul here against the Royals. So turnover early, and Mohawk down 6 with a chance to, again, try and cut into this deficit, and Steph Rymack.
Too much thinking.
Just a little too much thinking going on. Almost picked up her dribble, then tried
Karina
not to.
Brown was jumping up and down. She looked like she was open, and then I think Steph realized that she actually wasn't.
But it was just a little too late that came to be. Back the other way, the Royals, after a pair of early turnovers from both sides. Jessica Brown down low, working on her defender, Monica Batnick, who can't believe it. She felt like she did not make contact with the referees right there, in great position to make the call. So, 2 shots on the way for Jessica Brown, the most potent scorer in the first half from the Redeemer Royals. And of course, as you mentioned, for the Mountaineers, 3 players equal at 8 points. That would be their mainstay scorer, Sam Pockernick, and their other 2 secondary scorers who are, of course, very important to them, Shannon O'Neill and Steph Rymack, but not quite the solid defensive first half that the Mountaineers were hoping for.
No, and also just looking at, we talk about team depth and how Mohawk can kind of throw anyone into the game and they can pull off those points. Points off the bench, Mohawk has 20, while Redeemer only has 4 points off the bench. So just goes to show you Redeemer really has their 2 top players that they rely on a lot for their scoring.
So the first goes for the Royal stalwart, and she will make both. So, Mountaineers coming back the other way, and we will see Brown driving the hoop here. Her shot underneath, off the rim and out. And as we get a little break here in action, we're going to throw to Christine, who has a little note from halftime. Midgley.
Okay, guys, I got a chance to talk to Coach Rob Hooper from Redeemer over the half. Talked to him about how he was going to keep his lead, and he had an answer. He said he was going to pray. In all seriousness, he said he's got to keep the ball away from Sam Pockernick and Steph Rymack. He's really hoping to see more layups from his team this half, as well as more rebounds. He said that they've got to stop giving Mohawk second chances, because if they keep up this rebound rate with the turnovers, they're going to lose this lead that they have. So he's hoping to keep the momentum going strong in the second half, and we'll see if it works for him. Sadie and Nick, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Thank you, Christine. Always up to date and getting us the much needed tidbits of information that only Miss Midgley can obtain.
And spinning off the rebounds, how Redeemer coach said that they need to up the rebounding. In the first half, Mohawk out-rebound them 34-18. So definitely an area Redeemer needs to improve, giving Mohawk those second chance. Just gives them more chances back into this game.
Ball being inbounded. Brown, quick stop and shoot, does not go. Loose ball, Kuczyk able to make it forward now on the rush. Pockernick fights her way to the middle and one. Terrific finish from Sam, and much needed by the Mountaineers there.
Yeah, and a great way to come down. You know, they had 3-on-2 there. That's exactly the position you want to be in.
And Pockernick shows you the ability to get to the rim, and so good, even when being fouled, even when being muscled on the way to the net, to still have a balanced shot get off.
And we've talked to that in the past as well, that she's always so focused on the rim. And it's something you just don't see as often. A lot of people are just throwing the ball up, just hoping to get the foul. She's always focusing on finishing her shot.
So terrific work by Pockernick, completes the three-point play and has the Mountaineers down 5. Jessica Brown, Lindsay Moffitt inside, working on her defender. Great spin on Kuczyk. Was Brinkman there. Toby Brinkman, though, too hard off glass.
It was a great move for her to make, though. Once she got by Kuczyk, there was no one there to defend her.
Hunter Johns had to leap a little high for that. She had an open shot. Gets it back to Pockernick for an open 3, but just a little strong. Hunter Johns battling, and I believe will win possession for the Mountaineers. Great work from Hunter underneath. So we will now see Carissa Brown to inbounds. Quick little pass off to the side. Rymack open 3, no good. Ball tipped by Pockernick, and it's Kuczyk with the board. Here's Brown, finds Pockernick in the corner, open 3, no good, short off rim, and Jessica Brown with the board for the Royals. She runs it down the other way herself, beating every Mountaineer to the rim, but her fadeaway shot no good. So a good rush up the end, solo style from Brown. Had some teammates with her, but didn't make a look, and then made a better pick. And Brown in for the easy 2. Johns
That's what happens when you're looking for that point guard. Jessica Brown read that she wanted to get to Steph and took it right out of her hands.
And Rymack was not able to have a second even to adjust and feel Brown coming. And there, Unfortunately, an overthrown pass from Carissa Brown of the Mountaineers intended for Sam Pockernick, and that turnover will bring a few changes here from Duffy on the floor. Shannon O'Neill back in, along with Monica Batnick. Quick inbounds. Brown, good pass, and a fadeaway there. Great pressure from Kusick, though, and a miss. Back the other way. Great little
nice
tip
little
pass
bump
from Sam Pockernick, and Kusick, great little pro hop to draw the foul.
Yeah, what a great see,
What
because Sam
skill from
Pockernick,
Sam
she was going to
Pockernick.
have a defender all over her. So for her to just even
saw-
bat it her way, it was
I saw that
perfect.
similarly on the weekend on ESPN highlights, because it was done by a Duke player, and he did it in midair, and he caught that ball, and
Yeah,
he
and
threw it
just
right
popped it
across
right
on
out.
an alley-oop. Sam might not have had the same strength on it, but the idea
The
was there, and a
intent
great
was the
play
same.
to lead Kusick in, and she'll go to the line, and she makes the first of two, so it's now back down to 6, 44-38. And the second rims out, and Batnick unable to keep it in bounds as her off the tip of her fingers and out.
The Mohawks putting on that tough defense that we're used to seeing.
Jessica Brown over the timeline at half court, working on Carissa Brown. And she leaned in, and her right-handed lay-in no good, but off the fingertips of a Mountaineer. So some substitutions here coming from Redeemer. Brown on the inbounds, almost lost the ball there, working against Carissa Brown. Ball
Shot
inbounds.
clock's at 5.
Inside, Brinkman went up strong and draws the foul. Batnick thought she got all ball coming over on the help defense. That was much better from the Mountaineers, but a little late arriving. And because of that, we'll see 2 free throws from Toby Brinkman, the rookie from Ottawa, Ontario. And she'll make the first of 2.
And with the game this close, I think it's really going to come down to defense on both ends. We saw Redeemer had a really tough defense starting on the Mohawk, and if they're able to keep up that intensity like we're just seeing.
And there, a big pick, and just doesn't go, but still loose on the court. Brown tried to go back up and lost it. Ball still loose. Pockernick battles on the ground with Michaela Blackburn, who had that steal an open chance. And it will be possession in favor of the Mountaineers, but a bad turnover. And we are seeing some turnovers from even players that usually not in those positions. Steph Rymack, Shannon O'Neill now lately.
It looks like
the
they're
pressure,
frazzled
The
in
pressure is
general.
getting to them clearly. Steph brings it up court. Sam Pockernick across the Batnick, now double teamed and had it
And look
stripped
at
out of her
done.
hands.
Yeah.
Terrific
Redeemer's
work
just
by
bringing the
Redeemer right
pressure.
now. Blackburn. Little handoff for Brown. Brown with an open look from 3 off front rim. That could have been bad for the Mountaineers. Batnick.
Good pass up.
Up court quickly. Here's Pockernick cutting to the net. Thought about the shot, ends up feeding back, and Batnick with a great run down the lane. That was a great look
You already
from
have your
Pockernick.
momentum, right? Just take it right to the
So
net.
much better work from the Mountaineers on offense there. And a good feed as Monica was coming steaming down the lane there, and we'll go to the line for 2. Batnick, the second-year forward from Stony Creek, went to Cardinal Newman High School. Wears number 32 for the Mountaineers. Stepping to the line for the first time in tonight's action. And she will make the first of 2 from the line, Monica. Monica, along with Hunter Johns, providing a very athletic pair of down-low forwards who do like to stretch the court and get outside. That one, unfortunately, rims out on the second, but Shannon O'Neill grabs the board, and she's going to draw the foul underneath, and because of that, they are in the penalty, and Mohawk, I believe, are going to go to the line now every time for the rest of this third quarter. So that
And
not
we
a
have
good,
a lot of time left.
not a good story for the Redeemer Royals in that case, but it has not been mainly a good news scenario for Mohawk tonight. This is probably the first thing that's really gone their way.
Yeah.
And we've seen in a couple quarters a lot of fouls from Redeemer, but it's because of how well they've played defensively and how aggressive they've been.
Yeah.
There's Shannon making on the second. Lead is now 45-40. It's been a very low-scoring first half of this third quarter of
nice
play in the
pass
first
up.
5 minutes. There's Brinkman, wide open down low, misses, swatted away on the rebound by Batnick. and out of bounds. Great play by Monica to stick with her. See what the Mountaineers can muster here. It's been a very choppy quarter, back and forth. No consistency offensively for either side, and that ball looked like it might have almost gone out of bounds, but a great save by Blackburn as she went into the first couple rows. Now, a quick put-up shot by Cooperus doesn't go. The loose ball picked up by Kusick.
Awesome.
Great throw. Up ahead comes Pocketing. Great lead for O'Neill. A bit off balance, but she still finds a way to finish.
Nice finish.
And it's
that's
down to
something
3.
Mohawk needed. You can hear it's
Cooperus.
getting a little loud in this gym, so people are getting excited.
And
Mohawk's-
Blackburn turns it over, but just losing it out of bounds was O'Neill. We will see Lindsay Moffett get substituted back in for Michaela Blackburn here. Blackburn with some good, gritty defensive work on the full court press there, creating a couple turnovers on the court for the Rose, and another pick screen that let Jessica Brown free, but she missed a wild left-hand layup, and she's slow to get up. She went down hard. Back the other way, Pockernick, unable to hit. Kusick had to go off her hands, but she finds the loose ball, and unfortunately, Rymack can't bury, but a loose ball foul called at the same time on the Mountaineers. Or excuse me, that is going to be on Kusick. She went up down low for the loose ball rebound.
It's an interesting call.
Hard to see
Mohawk
down there,
has
but it was a big
possession,
pile,
right?
and the referees had a much better angle than we did on that one.
Yeah, and I think Mohawk's just a little frazzled right now. I don't think going into this game they thought this was going to be the challenge that it is. So I think that they came out a little flat, and now they've gotten themselves into a kind of a little bit of a rut. And I think they have definitely the pressure coming from Coach Duffy that they need to pull up their socks and put something together. But yeah, they're playing a little frazzled. We've seen a lot of turnovers that we don't usually see from this team.
And almost right there, as you mentioned, Kusick almost overstepping with the travel and then almost threw the ball away. Pockernick's quick shot doesn't go. Rebound Moffett. Now up ahead, Jessica Brown, who doesn't look any worse for wear after hitting the floor hard on her last attempted finish. Here's a pass inside. Bosma with the turnaround 10-footer. Got it. The Hamilton native buries.
And she does a good job of
Pockernick.
making space when she goes up for her shots.
Brown inside. Rymack flying through the middle. Took a hard shot and will earn the foul. And Robert Hooper shouting instructions to his team as take another look at that drive and a good little handoff play. Mountaineers have been passing well, and they've slowly started to draw the Redeemer defense out and allow for those inside lane cuts and those slash moves for a Rymack, for a Pockernick, and an O'Neill, but not enough so that they can really say things have worked out tonight. And we will get that another look as we put it up on the screen for you again. Great passing, Pockernick, little lead to O'Neill. Sorry, that was the lay-in from Shannon earlier. Take a look at it. And now here off the miss, off the free throw, come the Royals. Cooperis inside, and a pass from Brinkman. Too quick a look. She didn't have a single person over there.
Yeah, I think she was looking for the back door, but her player didn't end up going for it.
Misread there and miscommunication. Rymack back up the court to Pockernick. Pockernick across, it's Steph. Rymack thought about taking the three. Instead, the Brown sisters hand off to each other, and that one a little too strong.
The shot clock's
from
down to
Karina.
9.
There's a quick shot off there from Rymack, though. So Steph able to bury from long distance, cutting the lead down to 2. Under 4 minutes to go, and great chance underneath, and still not able to hit twice was Brinkman, and finally down with the board is Johns. Back the other way to the Mountaineers. They have a chance to tie or take the lead, and going to the rim hard and unable to draw the foul as a jump ball is called, so possession 1 for Redeemer. Interesting call.
I would
was
have
a tough
think
one.
that was a foul,
but
it sounded like a pretty quick jump ball if they're going to go jump ball way, but
a good call, I guess, from the referee. She was right there, so tough to see from our angle. We saw the back of
I'm a little biased.
Carissa going in there. Sadie just showing her love. So the ball inbounded for the Royals with under 3:40 to play, second half in the third quarter of action in this second half. And scooping right to the rim.
And both teams now are sitting in bonus.
And excuse me, that was Lindsay Moffett off the pass there. scooping it to the rim and earning the call.
Redeemer just holding this lead by 2 points.
So Redeemer with a 2-point advantage. And as we had mentioned earlier in the game, coming off 3 straight losses, trying to get things turned around after winning their opening 3 games of the season.
Yeah, they had a really strong start to their season, and then they kind of lagged those last 3. So going into this game, we noticed their energy right off the bat. They were coming to win.
And Moffat, after making the first, short on the second. Karina, throw away though. Jessica Brown with the pick. And Jessica Brown with the finish. Lead up to 5 at 50-45 now. Pockernick under immense pressure. Finds Carissa Brown. Now up ahead, Shannon O'Neill. O'Neill with a wild lay-in, almost goes off front rim. Johns had it poked free from her though.
You know, I think
Here's
when
Cooper.
players are under pressure, they start to take things into their own hands.
Bosma, too hard there with the miss.
Just saw Shannon. She went down. She had someone wide open on the baseline that she could have passed it out to, and she chose to take it herself.
O'Neill now to Carissa Brown. Down low doesn't work.
pass.
Or excuse me, that was Karina looking down low. Now back is Carissa working against Cooperis, and Cooperis bodied by Carissa Brown, who had to give the foul. No easy buckets here. And now going to the line shooting 2 will be for the Royals, Rebecca Cooperis, the 4th-year vet from Wilsonville, Ontario. And some substitutions from the home side Mountaineers with just 2:50 to play in the 3rd quarter of a 5-point game. Redeemer still holding that advantage. They have not surrendered the lead the entire 3rd quarter, and that's got to be a good sign for Robert Hooper. The way things have gone the last 3 games, it's pretty much been, this could be maybe a 6-0
turning
Redeemer
point for
team
them, yeah.
that we're talking about if it wasn't for a lackluster second-half performance in each of the past 3 games. Good rebound there from Amy Carter off the miss of the free throw there. Both missed by Cooperis. And there, driving the hoop is Rymack.
No call.
And no call, and it was out of bounds off her hand last. So a
Looks
turnover
like she's brushing
again.
it off, though.
Ball inbound here is Rebecca Cooperis. Here's Bosma. Bosma taking her time, turns and puts up a shot at the net. Interesting shot. Looked like she had
And
time.
that's how she gets most of her space, though. She has a very high shot.
And because of that, not many can cover it. There's Ryma, quick release 3, doesn't go off the hand of Moffat, but she finds it. And unfortunately, put her foot on the baseline as she went to find Jessica Brown up court. And that'll be a turnover, so possession back for the Mountaineers. And we'll see a substitution, Toby Brinkman coming in and Jessica Bosma taking a well-deserved break. O'Neill inbounds to Pockernick. Nice move around. Cooper's tried to go straight up against Brinkman and swatted away. There's Carter, finds Rymack in the corner for 3. Too much on it. The shots looked forced, and they're coming out that way with a little too much on them.
Yeah, and just
Brown
a
to the
lack
corner
of,
for Moffat. Able to hit Moffat a huge 3. And the Royals stretch the lead to 8, 53-45.
It just looks like a lack of structure on Mohawk's end. We're used to seeing very structured plays, and it's like cutter, 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 there's the shot, and we're just not seeing that from them right now.
And Carter finds O'Neill. O'Neill wanted the call. She got bodied hard, but nothing for it. Loose ball ended up into the middle. Kusick was able to get a hold of it and then tried to go up with it. And as it went out, it will stay Mountaineer ball with just 14 on the shot clock. So Shannon will inbound. And there's been a bit of a lack of movement and motion from the offense for the Mountaineers,
but
and that will
he's going
cost
to score
them.
for them. They do have their players on that they need. Sam, Steph, and Shannon, all the top performers
And
of the
that
game
has been a
so
little
far.
worrisome, too, that with their best players, they've been unable to find the hoop or find a way to score in the past couple minutes here. And again, it continues off the Kusick miss. Jessica Brown, Moffat open
Could
left
do it
side again.
again. No.
Just short off front rim, but she
Gets a
grabs her
rebound.
own board and cuts through, unable to hit, almost grabbed another one. Boxing out needs to be tighter from the Mountaineers. Rymack, the other way, to Pockernick. Almost doubled immediately. They
There's
do
that
not let
defense.
Sam have any time with it. O'Neill from the corner, though, missed the open shot, and Carter couldn't quite corral it.
Yeah,
Brown.
and Redeemer's defense has just been so impressive. They're all over the ball, and they're anticipating, too, so they're making Mohawk take bad passes and turn the ball over.
Brown will spot up a 3, and just a little too much on it. Kusick does come down with the board and is fouled by the reach-in of Moffat with
She'll get
1:06
shots for
to go
that.
in the 3rd quarter. And as you were saying, the defense has been so stellar, but there have been a lot of missed open looks from the Mountaineers due to the fact that we've seen Sam Pockernick get doubled a lot, Steph occasion, Shannon, two girls, women on the other team for the Royals sliding over or leaning their way. So there's been open looks from the three-point line, and even in that case there, in that possession alone, Steph missed two, and not to put it all on her. But
they start to play a little bit more selfish when they're in a position like this because they feel like, hey, they have the ball, they're the ones that need to be putting in the net, where it's really the opposite play we need to be seeing. You need to be more looking for the girls that are open and take your mentality and put it towards your team instead of putting it all on your shoulders.
More for the easy buckets than for trying to do it yourself. Very well said. So, after those free throws, 53-46. Brown spots up another 15-foot jumper, and, well, we said it before in the game. She may not have the best field goal percentage to match the points, because she does like to put them up, but I think they'll live and die with that still.
Yep, she's sitting at 19 points right now for the game.
So she's already reached her season average.
Yep.
And will probably improve upon that and put possibly herself into the 20-point-per-game average.
Yeah, we still have a whole
games.
quarter ahead of us.
With under a minute left in this third quarter, Steph Rymack up court. And they try to go inside again, and again, nowhere to be found, but Pockernick with a great steal and finish with the left hand.
Something they needed.
Terrific individual effort from Sam there
She's
after a breakdown.
sitting at 13 points for this game now.
And Brinkman travels across half court, lifting the plant foot, and with 34.8 and a 10-second difference between shot clock and game clock, the Mountaineers have a chance to cut into this 5-point lead now at 53-48. Batnick inbounds to Rymack. The 3-2 zone of the Redeemer Royals has been deadly today. They have been right on it with pressure. There's a good open look and buried from Karina Brown.
That's been Karina's shot. You know, in her past years, she likes that baseline.
And Karina with the steal, right in the perfect spot. Finds Pockernick, open three, off rim, no good. Loose ball still, Johns underneath. 10 seconds.
There's Sam.
Pockernick, she has time. Brown off her fingertips. Still 6 seconds.
4 seconds left in the game.
Rymack wants it, feels it, tried to put it up. Pockernick, loose ball, no good at the end of the third quarter.
Great effort from Mohawk in those last seconds.
Shows you the ability she has to stick with it, along with many of the Mountaineers, but unfortunately it will be 53-50 for the Royals through 3 quarters of play.
And they've kept this third quarter.
And they have kept this third quarter lead, and this is one of the things we wanted to talk about as we come to the end of the third quarter. Redeemer has struggled to hold leads through the early part of this year. They've usually started out strong, but lack the endurance, as you said, a little bit of a smaller lineup to stay on top through the 4 quarters.
And that's something that Mohawk is usually very spot on with, is that endurance. They're ones that can pull out those full games and can roll the bodies and get everyone in and have everyone contributing to the points.
And the most recent opponent for both the Mountaineers and the Royals happened to be the Fanshawe Falcons, and in that game against Fanshawe, after leading through the first half, as you said, they fell apart in the third and fourth quarter, similar to the game prior against St. Clair Saints, one of the better teams this year in the OCAA West.
Yeah, they were right neck and neck with them, which shows that Redeemer, they have that ability to stay close with these top teams, but they just haven't been able to pull out one of those wins for themselves. So we've seen a little bit of a different game from them tonight than what we were expecting. You know, looking at the stats and looking at the teams we were looking at, I think we were kind of leaning that this was going to go in Mohawk's favor, but Redeemer has definitely showed us a tougher game.
And also, just to remember and take note of, in the last game against the Falcons on Friday evening for the Mountaineers on the road at Fanshawe in London, what we saw was a bit of a tight first half. They were barely ahead 36-32, and again, second half they peeled away. Now, third quarter, as we said, this went more Redeemer's way. I mean, them just having the lead has to be the best thing. Robert Hooper was not lying when he said he was praying to get this lead through 3 and 4 quarters.
Yeah, because he knows, too, coming up against Mohawk, you know that they play tough defense all game. Duffy's never going to let off that press, so if your team's able to handle that and is able to keep this lead, then kudos to them, especially having 2 players that are your offense.
So they've got to be happy with the results right now. Fourth quarter, about to get underway. Mountaineers will be inbounding the ball after winning the opening tip.
And I'd like to see Shannon get the ball a little bit more this fourth quarter. We saw her, she came out firing in that first quarter, so if she can get her shot off and get some baseline from it for us, that would be awesome.
Still the 3-2 zone.
of the Royals. Rymack open
Steph.
three from the top.
Beautiful.
Buries it. And we're tied at 53 right off the bat here in the fourth quarter. And that might be huge. Full court press
We're
on.
seeing that defense.
Almost stolen by Shannon O'Neill. And Shannon asking maybe if that was off Redeemer last. And are we going to see a foul here, actually? I believe it was a foul on Shannon there, as they're calling. And that's why
and look at them guarding her. They don't want Jessica Brown getting that ball.
So Monica Batnick on Brown to begin, and Batnick almost got a hand on that one. Moffitt now
quick.
knows she's got to take it the other way. She finds her open teammate, and the shot no good off glass and out. And that was a miss from Miss Tia
nice
Baker.
little lead up.
Back the other
Too
way,
far.
good attempt, but up and under off the underneath part of the backboard
Yeah,
there.
she's just a little bit too far for that pass.
From Karina. Back the other way, Moffitt a quick three, book it.
She
And
is killing
Redeemer.
from the three-point right now.
And now, excuse me, that was a two-pointer, just foot on the line there, is the call from the referee, 55-53. But Lindsay, from long distance, has been deadly. Jessica Brown taking it up against O'Neill. Brown works on Shannon O'Neill. Inside Bosma. Turnaround against Johns, too strong off glass, and there is Karina Brown to come back down with it. Rymack with a football pass ahead to Shannon O'Neill, and she is blocked away hard by Bosma, but it will be Mountaineer possession. And that was a good attempt by Rymack to pick up the pace there, but again, the momentum in this game has not seemed to stay with either side for very long when it comes to offense. It's been very choppy, so
yeah,
we
it's been
could
kind
have
of
a
an
photo
exciting game.
finish type end to this one. There's a long-range three from Rymack, not gonna go, but once again, off the fingertips, last touch by a Royal, so we will see Mountaineers stay in possession. Batnick will inbounds. Batnick to Johns, nice little
move.
swim move, too strong off the board, loose ball, unable to finish was Karina Brown. Now, here's Jessica Brown for the Royals, trying to pick up the pace.
Good
Here's Moffitt.
anticipation.
Turns and jump shot is no good.
Got a box
Grabs
out.
her own board though, can't get it to go. Grabs her own board
Third
again,
chance.
and in midair with the finish on the lay-in. Just following up that 10-foot jump shot and following up that second miss as if the Mountaineers were nowhere to be seen. Duffy will not like that boxing out. Here's some good passing, but a great block, and Brinkman with a steal, and we've seen this all night. The Royals have been incredibly tough in that 3-2 zone and allowing you to get inside the paint, but a great block by Hunter Johns. Get out of here, what a swat. Back the other way, O'Neill, tough drive, and they're gonna call the charge.
We can hear Redeemer right next to us. They're pretty excited right now, so.
That was a great take though
Gotta
on that
bring the
charge by
energy when
Kayla
it's this
Pratt.
close of a game.
So wonderful job by Kayla Pratt. Get her feet set, get in front of Shannon O'Neill there. And we're gonna see a timeout from the home Mountaineers. The scoreline right now, 57-53. Redeemer up 4 with 7:48 to go in the fourth quarter. Now, what we have not seen tonight is possibly when you look at Mohawk and how deep a team they are and how much depth they have, and Redeemer lacking that in terms of using players that they feel like they have important minutes to give to, like a Blackburn at the guard position, like a Rebecca Clark, who we really haven't seen a whole lot, or Nakia Paris. We still are seeing Toby Brinkman, Jessica Bosma, the backup big men, Amy Koumans for moments, and Tia Baker have been terrific in terms of their down low defense as the two forwards in the 3-2 or the ranging third forward in that 3-2 zone.
Like just because
and stopping
Redeemer
the ball from getting in the
has-
paint.
Exactly. Just because Redeemer has their two main scorers doesn't mean the rest of the team isn't doing what they need to do to stop Mohawk. And just like you said, they've been doing that. If they've been like clogging the paint, if Mohawk gets that ball anywhere near the key, they are all over them collapsing. Their defense has been really awesome because usually Mohawk is very successful against the zone defense because they have those shooters. But with Redeemer's defense, as soon as they pass the ball to one of those wings or inside, they're doubling it.
Jessica Brown back to Moffitt and up to Miss Cooperis, Rebecca Cooperis inside. And well, she lost the ball for a minute there, Brinkman. And we will see a jump ball, but possession will remain in favor of the Royals, as Brinkman had to go down to the court to maintain possession there for Redeemer. inbound coming from the baseline. Moffitt
Good defense
goes
by
up top
Carissa.
for Brown. Thought about the three, was able to beat her defender with that, and because of that, earns the foul on her way to the hoop. Carissa does not agree with the call.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny because it looked like she lost the ball before she was fouled.
Could have possibly lost the ball there on her way and might have got a little lucky to get that call for her. The Mountaineers will not like
good
that, but there's
defense by
great
Carissa.
defense by Carissa there. And what we have seen tonight, Sam Pockernick came in leading Mohawk with pretty much 18 points per game, putting her at 5th in the OCAA, and just in front of her at 4th was Jessica Brown at 19.3. And what we've seen thus far, Jessica Brown, 22 points through three
Crazy.
quarters.
And 9 rebounds.
And 9 boards, has been on her way to a double-double and a terrific night of action and work from the star of the Royals, offensively and tonight, defensively as
And
well.
Moffitt,
But
she was
Moffitt
calling
is
for
joining
that
the
ball.
show.
So she's sitting 4 for 7 from the three-point line right now.
And that gives
so.
Lindsay Moffitt 19 points. She is right below the 20-point mark, but there's a good look inside. Jasmina Kusick, an easy 2. And the
Another
Mountaineers
player
needed that.
doing amazing. So she's sitting with 13 rebounds for this game.
Kusick.
Not a surprising stat from
Not
her.
at all for Jasmina, the way she has performed the first 7 games of this year. Ball down low, Brakeman missed the second opportunity, and Prayett keeps it alive. Back out for a 3 from Brown, no good, and the rebound for Kusick. Back the other way, Carissa Brown, hands off to Pockernick, swings it across to O'Neal. Now to Pockernick. Pockernick, little bounce pass, Carissa Brown. Now
Shot
Kusick
clock's at 10.
looks inside for Johns, off a fingertip and out with 9 seconds to go on that shot clock, and 6:33 in the fourth quarter.
So if I'm Redeemer, I want to be just feeding the ball to Moffitt.
Right
on the
now, I would
outside.
say so. And they're
Especially
giving Jessica
with the
Brown a
lead
break
that you
right
have.
now.
Exactly.
So Moffitt is the key player on the court right now offensively,
Yep.
and the real only key player that
Yeah.
we've seen that's shown any consistency for Redeemer.
Yeah, and it's, a key that you want to use. Like you said, this has been a back and forth game. At any moment, Mohawk could get a couple, turnovers in their favor, and next thing you know, they're right back in the game.
Carissa Brown to
Nice little
Kusick,
move.
great little spin play, not enough on the turnaround J. Brett, lead pass Baker, beats Pockernick by on the left side. Baker on the sideline, double team. Now
thought
Moffitt,
about it.
great pass off. Brett with the open jump shot, pops off back iron, and a good rebound by Shannon O'Neal against Bosma.
Nice pass up to
Now up
Sam.
ahead, Pockert. Down low, Johns lost the handle. Moffitt coming up the
Nice
other
pass
way.
up.
And the
Too
lead
far.
pass for Cooperis, and she somehow kept it in bounds. So Pockernick now wheeling back the other way. Sam to Carissa Brown. Pockernick thought about it. Now Johns, she will take the jumper and nail it. About a 17-footer.
Haven't seen
From
too
near the
much from
baseline.
Johns, but that puts her 5 points on the board. She has been contributing on the rebounding end, though, with 7 rebounds.
And Johns with that brings Mountaineers within a possession there. Pass knocked away by Kusick. She comes back
Nice
the other
pass
way.
up.
Finds Pockernick, who goes hard up against Moffitt underneath and draws the call with 5:34 to play, and the Mountaineers trailing by 3. And quickly, after about maybe a minute off the court, Jessica Brown to be subbed back in for Rebecca Cooperis. And
Yeah,
we
when
will
it's
also
this close
see,
of a game, you don't want to leave your top girl out of the game for very long.
and with that also some substitutions for the Mountaineers as well. Rymack, Kusick, Batnick, Karina Brown, and Sam Pockernick, the 5 Mountaineers on the court. And the first shot from Pockernick off back rim and out.
In a game like this is when rebounds can win or lose a game. If you're that team that's scoring the rebounds, we've seen each team has been in penalty almost every quarter this game, so it could really come down to foul shots.
Pockernick makes 1 of 2. Brett, great little passing play, leads Brown for an open layup, but she missed
God.
too hard.
That's
And
not
the
usually
Mountaineers
one
have a
she
chance.
miss.
Down 2, 1 possession game. They've brought it within 2 points again. Great work by the Mountaineers. Rymack almost lost the handle against Brown there. Kusick working the baseline. Great
Too
play off
easy.
glass, and we're tied at 60. And then Kusick took a spill on her way back to the defensive end there. But
And
she
Kusick,
seems
she makes
okay.
her offense look so easy. She just does like one little move and she's right by the defender and all by herself to the net.
And that just shows you the confidence, the fluidity of her game and rhythm down low in the paint.
Oh.
Great 3-point shot again over top of Pockernick from Lindsay Moffett.
She's 5 for 9 from the three-point line. Like I said, get the ball to Lindsay.
And Moffett there with her hand on the ball with an interception now. Coming back to the way, tried to make a great pass in the middle for Brown. And what we're seeing is Moffett and Brown really driving the Redeemer Royals offense whenever the Mountaineers have come and brought this game real close, if not tied it up as they just did.
Moffett pulls away.
Moffett and Brown are helping them pull right back out
So
in front.
Moffett now with 22 points.
There's a pass from Moffett, slipped through Bosma's hands, but luckily Baker there to back it up. 17 on the shot clock, inside, Bosma takes Brown and does not get enough on the shot. Kusick with the board, now working on Brett. Great job by Jasmina Kusick up court.
And I
Little
love how
dunk
she can bring
pass
up the
to
ball.
Batnick.
She doesn't
Now
rely on that
Rymack, quick
point guard.
spot three, buries it! Steph Rymack, and we're even at 63.
We're getting
Rymack
the game.
says, Moffett, whatever you can do, I can do just a little better. Here's Baker, coming over the timeline. Baker to Moffett, nice move past O'Neal. Good look down low for Brett, but they'll kick it back out. They want Brown working against the slower Batnick, and a great steal by the
Shot
hand
clock's
of
at 8.
O'Neal. Still though, Bosma getting the shot off, no good, tip down low, Kusick the board, and a great find of Shannon O'Neal. O'Neal the other way. Rymack an
Steph.
open three again, just off rim, a little hard, but the combo of the Royals, Brown and Baker, lose it out of bounds between the two with just 3:46 to play. And Kevin Duffy, actually it's Robert Hooper, the head coach of the Redeemer Royals, wants a timeout as the Mountaineers will have possession in a full 24-second shot clock to work with in a 63-63 tie. 3:46 to go, as mentioned. I did not see this game sticking around the 60-point mark, but I think if you're Redeemer, this is exactly what they would have hoped for, because they are not a team that gets in the 70s and 80s in points.
Yep,
They
so
will beat you
holding
with
Mohawk
defense.
out of their scoring, their regular scoring, 80 points per game, they're definitely holding them below that. So I think we've seen a great game from both teams. I think coming down to these final minutes, it's really going to come into whose mental game is really there, who's going to be able to take the pressure from the other team. When you start having that pressure of, I need to make this shot, sometimes it can throw off your game. So we'll have to see how each player kind of holds their own.
And as of right now, for the Mountaineers, as I talked to Coach Kevin Duffy after Friday night's win over Fanshawe, he mentioned to me that he was a little bit surprised how well the girls have come together and gelled, especially at times like this, considering there's a lot of new faces that are mixing with other people that they really haven't played, whether even they were on the team last year, they just weren't on the court together a lot.
Yeah.
So
well, all new positions. I think one thing I was talking to Steph earlier, something that's new is they don't really have a point guard like when Jen was there.
Very true.
Everyone shares the ball, so it's a very different. Just different. Anyone can bring up the ball. We see Kusick gets her own rebound and weaves her way up the court because that's something she can do. So it's definitely a different style of game for Mohawk this year.
And I think that will be something to keep an eye on here as we come to the final moments of this one. And here's Batnick's shot blocked away by Baker. And unfortunately, the Royals forced the turnover. Moffett the other way. Her pass, though, knocked away by Kusick. Somehow it stuck with her like a magnet. Back the other way, Rymack cutting in, throws it up and does not get the runner in the lane to go. O'Neal battling for the board. And unfortunately, O'Neal, when she went to make the hand check, stepped out of bounds.
I think that's her last personal. Oh, I'm totally in the wrong column. Never mind.
Excuse
It's her
me.
third
That's
personal
the third
foul.
personal foul for Shannon. Not quite there,
So
but
still has a couple more
still
to give.
2 to give. Baker inbounds to Brown, then right back to Baker. Almost a travel. Fans wanted a travel call there from the stands. Baker to Brett, now back to Brown. Across, Moffett. Gotta watch 22 and 23 right now. Brett's pass just off the hand of Batnick. And we're seeing some great movement and work from the Royals, and their offense has looked pretty solid in terms of their, at least, movement off the ball in this game. There's Batnick
always
putting her
looking for
hands
that
out,
back
almost able
door.
to steal there.
There's 6 seconds left on the shot clock.
And we are going to see a foul, unfortunately, on Karina Brown
And
as the
Redeemer's
shot
gonna
clock
need
comes down.
Yeah, they're going to need a quick shot off. So hopefully they can isolate Moffett and take advantage.
Well, the shot clock reset to 14 after the foul now, and will be inbounds by Baker for the Royals. Baker looking up top for Brown. Brown at the top of the free throw line. A little step back jumper is off rim and out. Knocked down, and the rebound goes to Redeemer. And then after a second miss, Karina Brown able to come down with it. but
I
we are
think
going to
they're
see a
calling
foul
on Steph.
on Steph Rymack. And because of that, going to the line will be Jessica Bosma, the Hamilton native.
Yeah, some of the fouls I think have been a little bit quick. You know, when it's something like a rebound, and I'm just not really seeing the grab, I guess, when they're pulling that ball down.
Tough to see it in there, especially from our angle. So many
Yeah, there's
bodies
a lot of
underneath
bodies in
the
there.
net there. And it could have gone really either way, but surprising more so because as Karina came out with the ball, would have thought it would have been against Redeemer, but at the line Bosma, and she's able to make the first, but misses the second off rim and out, so a chance still for the Mountaineers to take a lead. Down 1, under 3 minutes to go in the final home game of 2016 portion of the schedule this season. And down low in the paint, Batnick cutting through, fouled on her way to the hoop. So it will be drawn to the baseline for another inbound.
And Redeemer doing a good job this quarter as well, staying out of foul trouble, which is very important in these last couple minutes. You don't want to see Mohawk in bonus if you're Redeemer.
Batnick inbounds. Johns puts it up, and it does not go off front rim. Now here they come. Back the other way is Redeemer. The
All
Royals.
by herself down low.
Brown looks down low to Brinkman. Back out to Brown up top, wants the three. Air ball does not touch anything, and Kusick right to let it go with 2:35 to play. 64-63, a 1-point game, and Shannon O'Neill will return to the floor. Monica Batnick will sit. Johns, Kusick, Rymack,
We have our top
O'Neill, and
top scorers
Pockernick
on right
on
now.
the floor. 2:30 to play. O'Neill to the top. Rymack wants that three. Got it! Steph Rymack again at 66-64. Steph has been on fire from beyond the arc in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter late. Brett at the top on Kusick. Now to Brown working on O'Neill inside. Bosma on Johns. Tries to go down low to Brinkman, and Brinkman on the 3 second in the key, I believe.
Yeah, not a
will
call
be
we've seen at all this
Not
game.
an often call you'll see here in the OCAA, but that one working against the Royals, and because of that, a 2-point lead for the Mountaineers with 2:08 to go. This is a huge possession here to try and really put the momentum in their favor. Get up by a couple possessions if they can get a bucket here. O'Neill looking across. Pockernick, 20-footer does not go. Poked free by Brett. She's fighting for it, and she will not be able to win that ball. But great effort right in front of the Mohawk bench with 1:53 to go, 14 on the shot clock. Mountaineer ball. O'Neill to Rymack, back to O'Neill. Open three from Shannon, over and off the backboard. Loose ball, and it did go off a Royal, they say, last. And it'll be Mountaineer possession once again, but just 8 on the shot clock now. Mountaineers looking for that score to put it up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, you need another one.
Open look from the right for Pockernick. Doesn't go off rim. Kusick the board. Put it up quick, though. Didn't need to.
This important
There's a
possession for
turnover, though,
Redeemer.
almost. As O'Neill battles with Cooperis. And we will see Mohawk possession thanks to the great effort by O'Neill down there.
And I think with a
in the
close
paint.
game like this, it's going to be a long minute and a half of this game.
Inbound to Johns. Johns puts up against pressure, doesn't get the call. Loose underneath. Bosma finds Brown.
Gets
Brown
it up.
outlets for Cooperis.
Wide
She finds
open.
Moffitt wide open with the
Oh.
left hand. No good, too
block.
hard. Moffitt with the loose ball. Puts it up and is good to tie. Minute 24 to go. Kusick inbounds to Rymack. Steph Rymack to Shannon O'Neill. Back to Rymack. Now that's
That
picked.
defense of
Brett,
Redeemer.
great pick for Redeemer. Back the other way, spinning, and she traveled. A clear and easy travel call. Robert Hooper wants a foul, and he is arguing that she was bodied, but on that one, the referee right on it and makes a great call. Rymack over the timeline, nearing a minute to go, fourth quarter, and a 66-all tie. O'Neill almost fell off her pivot foot there, and then we see a blocking foul against Lindsay Moffitt for sticking the leg in between the feet of Kusick.
And she still has a couple to give. That would be her third personal foul.
And we will see some a timeout by the home side Mountaineers with 59.9 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
We've had
of
quite
this
a game.
matchup. An amazing game when you think about it. Redeemer was not expected to bring an offense that could compete with Mohawk's offense, and even though their defense was good, we didn't expect them to be as good as Mohawk's defense has been, which is holding teams under 50 points, and albeit 66 apiece is not maybe a low scoring game, it's been a really good defensive battle, and give Redeemer tons of credit for the zone defense that they've played. Has not really changed all game, and Mohawk
and the
really
trapping is awesome. They trap, baseline, they trap if it goes into the key, they trap on the wing, they're trapping everywhere. And I think the cool thing about the way that they're trapping is that once that person's trapped on the baseline, their girl that's wide open is all the way at the other end of the court. So for them to make that pass, it's difficult. So they're throwing the ball away, or Redeemer's picking off those passes, and Redeemer's taking it down the other end and just adding the points on. Lindsay Moffat's been huge. She's scored over 20 points now in this game, so her three-pointer's been on fire, and hopefully she can pull another one out to finish off this game for Redeemer.
They will be looking to Jessica Brown, if not Lindsay Moffat. And as for Mohawk, you know that Pockernick, Rymack, and O'Neill are the big three, and there's Rymack brought it away on a three-point shot, but Brett with the push on the sideline. It will not be 3 shots. Good call, Sadie, there. And that's exactly what Brett was asking of the referee. Exactly. It was on the box out, the push, so it will be from the sideline with 14 on the clock. Shot clock, that is. 54 on the game clock for Mohawk. Batnick. Inbounds to Kusick in the paint. Back out Batnick. There's an open look for 3. Just off front rim. Rebound. O'Neill battling down low. Somehow stole that ball and creates a jump ball, which will be possession.
They're calling foul.
And I believe they're actually going to call foul.
Shannon was going up on the shot.
Me. 2 shots for O'Neill, and give Shannon a lot of credit on that, because Shannon went down low, grabbed the ball out of the defender's hands.
Yeah,
and albeit Robert Hooper does not agree, he is
letting
the referees know.
It was strategic on Shannon's part, right? She grabbed the ball and she kind of flung it up when the girl was on her arm, and it went off as a shot, right?
And good work by Shannon getting down in there and being physical on the block there.
Great shooting.
O'Neill, as she will make both. An important pair of free throws made by Shannon O'Neill. The lead sits at 68-66. 46 seconds exactly remain in this game. And like you said, this is probably going to take us a while to get through this last minute of play, because we are going to see a very close finish. And if you're the Redeemer Royals right now, this next possession is probably in the hands of Jessica Brown, and if Jessica Brown doesn't have a look, you're looking to Lindsay Moffat to take that shot.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when we see Jessica Brown with the ball, even if she, doesn't have someone she can go to, she's going to take it to the hoop herself. We've seen that time and time again. Whether she gets the call and goes to the line would be in her best interest, but if she's also able to drive and, it ends up giving Lindsay Moffat some space on the three-point line, definitely want to chuck it out to her and throw one up, because I think she's over 50% right now from the three-point line for herself.
So Kevin Duffy barking instructions with a 2-point advantage. As there you get a look at the Redeemer Royals sideline. Deep in focus, they have lost 3 straight games, heartbreakingly. Maybe not always close at the final whistle, such as this one tonight, but they've lost 3 that they could have won, which they had leads in and knew they had an opportunity to take home with a W. This would be a tough 4th straight defeat in the same fashion if Mohawk can hold on, and once again would be a terrific win for the Mountaineers. Inbound for the Royals. It is to Brown. She tried to put it up. Looked like she just lost the handle, and that's exactly what happened. Last touch by Brown and out of bounds. That was just a messy possession by the Royals, and a huge mistake by Redeemer. Batnick will inbound, 43.7. The good thing for Redeemer, almost no time off the clock. And look who's wide open, Shannon O'Neill down low, and no foul. Bosma the ball, and the ball being moved up the other way. Duffy is irate, he can't believe it. Brown, an open 3 from the side.
And she nails it.
It's a 1-point lead.
I just got goosebumps.
32 seconds and counting. Shannon O'Neill. Rymack took an extra step with 26.3 to go.
26
and
seconds.
A timeout called by
And we just
Robert
talked about
Hooper.
how quick it happens, right? So Shannon didn't get the call that she wanted. Jessica turns it right around and pops up the 3 and takes
with
the
that
lead.
Shot,
and
she put all the pressure on the Mountaineers
exactly.
to
Well,
figure
then what
themselves
happens?
out.
Steph gets over half and does a little mess up, right?
Take another look one more time as you see Redeemer rush down the court, and Jessica Brown, as she has been all year, clutch when
And
needed.
look at everyone jump up from the bench. That was a
and
huge
that was as
shot
big
for them.
a shot as Redeemer has gotten all season long. With 26.3 though, maybe even bigger is Steph Rymack's travel there over the center line, because now instead of a shot and an opportunity for Mohawk to take that lead, now a chance for Redeemer, even with a 2-pointer, to stretch that lead to 3. And if they can get another 3, make it a 2-possession game.
They're the ones, they can really stretch this as the last possession. Like, there is 26 seconds on the clock.
But
I think
18 on the shot clock, as you mentioned. Just 8 seconds left in differential.
Yep, so I think you have to use as much of that clock as you can. You don't want to leave Mohawk with much time on the other end.
So Kevin Duffy, what can he get from his girls? What will Hooper get from the Redeemer Royals in the final 30 that this game has to offer? It's been terrific. It's been back and forth on this Tuesday night. And the final home game for the 2016 portion of the schedule for the Mountaineers before we take the winter break has been one to enjoy. Whether you're a Redeemer Royal fan, Mountaineer fan, or a basketball fan. And great defense from Pockernick. The ball is loose on the floor.
Jump ball.
Was dove on by Jessica Brown, and possession remains in favor of Redeemer. And now, because of that, the shot clock, though, back full at 23.
Seconds.
24.7 in total, so now just 1 second differential, and we are going to see a push-off foul by Brett. She cannot believe it.
Wow,
but
that's
Brett,
quite
with
a call.
third time that she's actually got called on a push-off too, she's complaining to her head coach because, I mean,
that's
if
a
she's
huge
complaining
call.
to anyone
this
else,
is the moment that
she'll pick up a technical, which would be the wrong time. And what we're seeing right now is we're going to get a timeout from Robert Hooper and Redeemer. Kevin Duffy is asking the referees for example of why the clock is set at 23.9 right now. He felt like there should have been less time. He said, I believe, or maybe more time actually on the clock. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So, 23.9 seconds left.
And that
Hooper
foul right there
was their last
huge
timeout,
too.
is what we just saw from their assistant coach, Megan Reed, came over. Or excuse me, sorry, the assistant coach, Taylor Chariot, for the Redeemer Royals.
You know, the way the clock was set up there, that would have left Redeemer with the last possession. I think at that point, Mohawk would have had to foul as soon as that inbound, just as a chance for them to get possession of the ball again, because Redeemer would have wanted to hold on to it. But this kind of changes things. Mohawk has a chance now to take it. And, you know, they have their top scorers on right now. Steph Rymack, Shannon, Jasmina Kusick. I think, who else is on the floor? Sam Pockernick, all your big scorers for the Mohawk Mountaineers. They got to get it in one of their hands, and I think taking it to the net is their best way of doing it.
Shot clock's off. This could be the last possession of the game, depending on how Kevin Duffy and the Mountaineers choose to run the clock in this possession. I expect a 3-2 zone to remain, and it looks like they will set up as such. 2 down on the low block, Kusick and Johns. Rymack and Pockernick await the inbounds from Shannon O'Neill. O'Neill to Kusick. To Pockernick, swing it back top. Rymack called on the travel. And with 20.2, a turnover the other way by the Mountaineers on a travel.
There's still 20 seconds left on this clock.
Duffy asking for a quick foul, I believe, here off the inbounds. Lots of pressure for Redeemer inbounds, though. There is the inbounds to Brown. She's got time. She's trying to waste clock out. They need to foul her here. And finally, it comes from Pockernick. I'm not sure she waited too long, per se. There's still 15 seconds, lots of time. But I think they were thinking, let's see if we could try to snag a steal. And in that situation, I appreciate the quicker foul because you want to keep time for yourself offensively here.
Yeah, exactly.
So Brown to the line, over 20 points on the night. She has done exactly what we expected. She has led this team, but there is a big first miss on the opening of 2, and she knows it. A very big dip of the head there.
And this is all mentality at this point. When you get into this tight of a game.
This is an important free throw now, and it is good. So at least a 2-point game. Cusick the inbounds. Last 15 seconds of this one from the David Bray Athletic and Recreation Center. Pockernick, open three, foul call as she hit the shot. No good, an offensive foul on Steph Rymack, and that will negate the go-ahead three-pointer from Sam Pockernick. Would have been as clutch as you can get, and instead, 8 seconds, an inbound.
And the rest, they've been on top of all that stuff. They're not watching where the ball is, they're watching where it's going.
A tough call to make, but a good call by the referee. Ball inbound, quick foul on Cooperis, and that is a good person to be fouling, and that was tough for the Royals. They wanted to quickly swing that. You could see Rebecca tried to hit Jessica with the pass. Great foul by the Mountaineers there, not only saving under 2 seconds off the clock, but able to get not the greatest of free throw shooters at the line here, needing her to miss at least one. First up from Rebecca, though, is good. And if Redeemer can get this free throw from Cooperis, they are well on their way to sealing a first win in 4 straight tries. And it is good from Cooperis, a 4-point advantage.
We have 5 seconds left
inbounded.
in this game.
Pockernick ahead. O'Neal has to shoot the three. It's no foul. It's no good. And that's the game. The Redeemer Royals have come on the road and upset the Mohawk Mountaineers 72-68 on a Tuesday night from the David Bray Athletic and Recreation Center. And Sadie Martin, we did not expect what we got in the game tonight, because we got more scoring and even probably at times
tougher defense
than even expected from both sides. But wow, what a finish, what a great end of the game. And let's not shy away from giving a lot of credit to Robert Hooper and those girls over at Redeemer College, because they stayed with it, fell behind late in the game on that clutch feed from Steph Rymack, and still fought back to take the lead and hold them off. It was
all those little mistakes. I really think all those turnovers from Mohawk, they piled up, and it contributed huge to Redeemer's success this game. It took Mohawk really out of their mental game.
And what a terrific finish by the Redeemer Royals. Give credit to the Mountaineers. They fought tooth and nail all the way to the end and almost had themselves a victory in the end.
It was definitely exciting for us to watch anyways.
So Christine Midgley is on the sideline with Steph Rymack following a tough loss. Christine?
I want you guys to finish strong. Hi guys, I'm down here with Steph Rymack after a heartbreaking tight loss. Technically playing-wise, it's your first loss of the season, so what happened out there?
Just a lot of turnovers in the first half, like our defense, our rotation on defense. To get better for next game, I think we just need to focus more in practice and focus as a team, play as a team. We're one big family, and I think that's what will help us in the next game.
Okay, so you're going up against Humber. It's your last game of 2016. Do you guys have a special strategy going in? Do you have something specific you have to work on?
One game by a game. So we'll be focusing on Humber within the next couple of weeks, and we'll get ready to play against them and see what happens.
Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck. Sorry again about the loss, but I'm sure you'll be good moving forward.
Thank you.
Okay, Nick and Sadie, we're coming back to you.
Thank you, Christine. And thank you, Steph, as well. Thank you for joining us for this presentation of Mohawk Mountaineers women's basketball on M-Link. For Sadie Martin, Christine Midgley, it's been terrific having you. We'll join you next time in January in 2017. So long, everybody. Enjoy these game highlights.